A very good evening to one and all, the Toastmasters gathered here for today. On behalf of Inspiron Toastmasters Club, this is meeting number 253. I welcome everyone. Um, the standard rules that we have for today, as usual at the online meeting, is that we are not going to talk anything about sex, politics, and religion. Keep your phone on silent, and then if you have any other engagements other than being online in this meeting, you can mute yourself and mute and hide your video, and then you can do so and come back to the meeting. Um with that, I will start today's meeting directly, and on behalf of the President of Inspiron Toastmasters, I, Amit, the VP Education, would like to welcome all of you who have gathered here today for today's meeting. Today's theme is all about TLI. What is TLI? I mean, we have been hearing. I know all of you are majority to, gathered today is are all Toastmasters, but I I know that Roshan and Larson are two newly newly being into Toastmasters, and we need to educate the members about Toastmasters Learning Institute. Now, what is this Toastmasters Learning Institute? It's an organization. Toastmasters is it's an organization, and they have a place wherein they bring in all the leaders of the year, and they train all the club leaders to perform their roles and responsibility. They introduce the roles and responsibility to the individual club leaders, and they will train us in understanding the role and responsibilities. Now, there are various roles in a club, starting from the club president, then comes the vice president's education, membership, and the public relation. And then we have the treasurer, secretary, and the sergeant at arms. So all these seven members will be present in this training institute. The training is done twice a year, and the division leaders or the district leaders, they will come up with a training program wherein they call in the senior leaders, and they help share their experience with all the new leaders of the club. Now, when does the Toastmasters Leadership Institute have their program? Normally it is in the month of uh, the first session will be somewhere in the month of July and August, and the second session will be somewhere between January and February. It depends on the availability of the leaders across the district so that they can provide the training. Now, to understand what all have happened in the division F, we all had our second TLI program on the 31st of January, and I will let you all know what went on on that day. But before that, we have to know today's program in our meeting today. So we have, as usual, the three parts of our meeting. First is the prepared speeches, and the second one is the table topic, the third one being the evaluation. The first section, the prepared speeches, wherein the speakers are going to speak out to the public, to the audience, a prepared speech, maybe from 5 to 7 minutes, or depend on their project, from their pathway project, and they will be evaluated by an evaluator in the third section. The second section is the table topic, wherein an impromptu topic is given to a member, and the member has to speak with within 2 minutes on the topic given. Now, let us begin today's session. Before we start the first session, I would like to call upon our general evaluator to introduce the tag team for today. General evaluator Rashmika, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amit. The general evaluators part would be primarily in the last segment or the third segment, as Amit has rightly pointed out. And in helping me do so, we have a set of tag team. The timer, Nikita. Nikita, could you briefly
Connectivity issue, I think.
Yes, Rashmika, I believe that was my cue to explain about my role. Since there are no new members, since there are no non-Toastmasters, I'll directly go with how I'm going to show the timing cards. I will be changing my screen. Meanwhile, while you give your speech or during the table topic or the evaluation session, you will be able to see my screen this way. And I will be changing my screen from this is green, yellow, we won't be using amber, we'll be using yellow instead, and red. And I request the Toastmaster of the day, the table topic master, and the evaluators to please announce the timings before before the individual speakers. For the for the table topics and evaluation is the same, but during the table topic, during the prepared speech, please do announce the time. Thank you, and back to the evaluator.
Thank you, timer Toastmaster Nikita, and humble request to all the speakers and table topic speakers and evaluators to kindly pin the timer. Next, we have the our counter Toastmaster Jacob. Can you please briefly explain your role?
You're on mute, sir. You're on mute. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rashmika. Today I am the R counter, and the purpose of the R counter is to note any overused words or filler sounds used as a crutch by anyone who speaks during the meeting. Words may be inappropriate interjections such as and well, but so, you know. Sounds may be oo, all those things, and some repetition of words. All the best, all the speakers. And I will give my report when the general evaluator calls upon. Back to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jacob. And next, we have the grammarian distinguished Toastmaster Veera. Can you give us the word of the day and briefly explain your role?
Yes, thank you. As a grammarian, I will be noting down the good usages of words as well as the ones which could be used better. The word for the day is frivolous, meaning not having any serious purpose or value, of little weight or importance. The government is spending taxpayers' money on frivolous lawsuits, for example. So please use the word for the day, frivolous. It means an adjective not having any serious purpose. Back to you, Rashmika.
Thank you, grammarian distinguished Toastmaster Veera. And again, humble request to all of you to use the word of the day, frivolous. I believe I've already used, and this can be counted as well. And with this, I would like to hand it over to the Toastmaster of the day, Amit.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator Rashmika. A leader is like a shepherd. He stays behind the flock, letting the most nimble go out ahead, whereupon the others follow, not realizing that all along they are being directed from behind. So, this is all about leadership in Toastmasters. The title itself, it says where leaders are made, and the TLI gives an opportunity for the club leaders to focus on their roles and responsibilities. Today's first speaker is Toastmaster Ishwar Kiran, and the evaluator is going to be DTM Bharati Shevgur, ATM Bharti Shevgur, would you be kind enough to read out the objective for Ishwar? Mute, ma'am. You're mute, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Amit. Yeah. I needn't be kind actually because it is supposed to be my duty. I have to do it. There's no kindness involved at all. I better read out the objectives. That was enlightening. So Toastmaster Ishwar is on L3, project 3 of the elective, focus on the positive. A very interesting uh, part, persuasive influence. The purpose of the project is for the member to practice being aware of his or her thoughts and feelings, as well as the impact of his or her responses to others. The purpose of the speech is to share his feelings in completion of the project. The time is funny, 2 to 3 or 5 to 7. I'm not sure which Ishwar is choosing. So he will have to inform the timer of that. So it's either to 3 or 5 to 7. All the best to you, Ishwar. An interesting speech.
Thank you, dear Toastmasters. So I'll be sharing with you my report on my assignment. That is 2 to 3 minutes. So timer, please note that. I had taken up this project a long back, and since past 3 weeks, I have been analyzing myself. So basically, what I wanted to say is that life is moving on the positive side. Life is on the positive side, but our mind is on the negative side. So our challenge is to make our mind positive. Over these last 2-3 weeks, I have been analyzing my situations, my behaviors, my feelings, my actions, my thoughts, and my anxieties. So normally what happens is that because negative thought comes because of our comes from our trauma or whatever childhood we have, that forms the basic personality and thinking pattern. So that forms our adult way of thinking, adult life. So basically is the best thing to is to analyze, SWOT analysis. We can do one. There are 4, 5, 6 methods. I'll tell briefly. What I have done for myself. I did a SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, threats, opportunities. And SWOT analysis, yes, threat and opportunities. So when you focus on, then when you do SWOT analysis, you'll get a clear picture of yourself and what are you and who are you. So basically, and for every strength, well, fine, we can handle it. Threat, for weaknesses, that maybe about I'll come into negative thought. So in the weaknesses, we can write it down and put a positive thought on that. Whatever, if I have a 5 weaknesses, example, one is I can't talk properly. So you have to, we have to put that positive thought. I am positive and I can speak fluently. So normally, if you put a positive thought, there is something called as conscious or subconscious mind. Subconscious mind is like a child, and it doesn't judge anything. It just accepts. So when we put the positive thought, it accepts it and implements. So negative thought is a behavior. Is a part of our thinking pattern, and the negative thought will be transforming into negative feelings, negative action, and negative results and negative behaviors. So ultimately, what I found is, I analyzed my situations around. It was negative. So I went deeply into my thoughts and found that what all thoughts, negative thoughts I have. I put it across all the thoughts what I have, and example, one thought, because other things I can't share with personal. And example, I'm not able to talk fluently. I put it as a positive thought. I am able to talk fluently. What is the action I have taken? I'm going to Toastmasters, and I'm going to Toastmasters, and I'm on the way. So once we have put our positive thoughts, and then we can visualize it. To be in the faster pace, you can visualize that thought. Like example, if I'm not able to talk fluently, I can visualize it. Every day in the evening, I can come and visualize, and as if I would talk. The subconscious mind accepts that and it implements. It is like a, uh, it is, it implements. It just accepts. Its word, its word is like its behavior is to accept it. So this is the way I have tackled my negative thoughts. And one last one technique is that for 21 days, one more technique is for 21 days, take a notepad in a mobile, in a mobile, it's freely available. Put 10 to 12 positive things, what we think every day, and what positive things we have. When we do this for 21 days, your mind changes and it starts finding positive things. If positive thoughts come, then well, fine. There is another energy, and then positive life will be happy. So I have I have got result from it. Over to Toastmasters.
Thank you so much, Ishwar Kiran. A big round of applause to Ishwar for speaking out on how to be positive.
Amit, I have a request. Amit,
Yes.
excuse me.
Yes.
I have a request. Is it all right if I evaluate the issue now? Then I can get out and come back again during the table topics.
General
Is it
evaluator.
all right?
General evaluator. I feel because ma'am has a request, I think we can do it.
Yes, no problem.
Thank you, ma'am.
Rashmika, is it all right?
Yes, it's all right.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I'll start my evaluation of Ishwar's speech. The Toastmaster Ishwar, it's not everyone who is able to do a SWOT analysis of himself and also come out with action plans for what needs to be done. My deep appreciation to you for having spent time on this project and analyzed your own behavior, thoughts, feelings, and anxieties. Because as you say, it is not many people accept this project of needing to analyze oneself. It is considered to be something that other people have to do, or maybe a counselor has to do. But in this case, you did it to yourself, and that is my appreciation to you. Your project asked you to look at how you could go from the negative. So let me say that you said that you were not able to talk fluently, but I would think that this is something that not anyone would accept, because you were able to talk fluently, and you gave an action plan, and you said you had visualized it, and you visualize yourself being positive. People really cannot reach this level of analyzing themselves, mostly without going to counseling or speaking to somebody else. So full marks to you on that, and I think you did full justice to your project, Ishwar. And if an evaluator is asked to suggest improvements, I thought what could have come as an improvement is only more personal illustrations of what you put down on your journey towards discovering how you could pass from the negative to the positive.
Yep.
We hear you saying only that you did an action plan, and you weren't able to talk fluently, and you visualized yourself talking. More on other points would have come as something that we could visualize you doing. It would have helped the listeners to plan for themselves, because that I think is not at all anything that people could accept, saying that Ishwar can't talk well, because you've spoken so much on SWOT analysis, not one able to do. You definitely did not take this project in a frivolous manner, Ishwar, and I hope that you will continue speaking to capitalize on what you have done in the project. All the best to you.
Thank you so much, Bharati ma'am. Appreciate the evaluation done on Ishwar Kiran's speech. Thank you so much once again. And we hope that you quickly go and come back to the session.
Yeah, that is my intention too. I will do that. Thank you very much thank you, Rashmika, and to you too for giving me what I needed. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, coming to the next speaker, another leader what we have in Toastmaster. And we all know that this person, he does not have. Veera ma'am, you have to correct me if I'm wrong. This person does not have a frivolous behavior in our club executive committee. Is it right way of putting it through? Thank you so much. And we have a Toastmaster Royal here today, completing his level 4, and the objectives will be read by his evaluator, Toastmaster Roshan. Toastmaster Roshan, would you please read out objectives for Toastmaster Royal?
Thank you. Toastmaster Royal D'Souza is on the path of effective coaching. He is on level 4 of Project 1. The purpose that is stated is to review or introduce the skills needed to write and maintain a blog. All the best to Royal D'Souza, and over to him.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Roshan, for reading out the objectives for today.
Toastmaster, I'm sorry. Also, this is a 2 to 3 minute speech, and the project includes maintaining a blog and posting at least 8 times in 1 month. Wow, okay. And the blog evaluation form to be completed, as well as the project completion form. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Roshan. Toastmaster Royal, pen is mightier than the sword. Pen is mightier than the sword. Over to you, Toastmaster Royal.
Toastmaster of the day, very sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
Let me just confirm, it's a 2 to 3 minute speech.
Yes. 2 to 3 minutes.
Thank you.
So very good evening, everyone. So today I would love to share with you my experience in blogging and how you can also start writing a blog. So one of the most important thing when you start writing a blog is you need to select your niche, what type of blog you want to write. It might be about fashion, it might be about foods, it might be about cars or education, anything, what you love to write about. So during the pandemic time, I accidentally discovered that I also love to write. So what happened was there's so many stories lying in my laptop, and I was wondering, so many speeches, in fact, I was wondering what to do with it, because normally in Toastmasters, what happens, we write a speech and we just deliver it once or twice at the max, and then it's done. No one hardly remembers it. So I was wondering what to do with this. And then I came to know that Bharati ma'am tables, Jyotika ma'am also used to write blogs. So I thought, okay, why don't I just convert these stories into blogs? So at one point, at least someone can go through that. So that is how I discovered the love of writing stories. So once you select your niche, the second step will be to write the script, right? Just get down, just take a pen on paper or a Word file, just start typing whatever comes to your mind. So in Toastmasters is much more easier for us because we are used to writing speeches. So writing a script will be an easier part for us. And second thing is, one of the most important thing is to have a library. library or content materials of different articles. I would love to share my screen. 1 second. So yeah. So is my screen visible? Yes. So this is one of my folders. So whenever I come across a very interesting quote, right, I just write it down in my laptop. If you can see, there are more than 200, 300 quotes over here. So is it visible to everyone? Yes. So like you are strong enough to drive through it and thrive through it with your time on your dime. So all these interesting quotes, whenever I come across to it, I just write it down so that I can use it, always use it on my speeches or any stories. For example, transforming wall into doors, right? So from just one sentence, I can make a complete speech out of it. How we can, what to say, transform our mental block of walls into doors for other opportunities. So other than this, I also have a library for my short stories. So where I write all these different concepts. So number till 21, I have written the entire story, and these rest of them are just a concept, still in concept stage, right? So if you have a different, if you have a library of different articles of your own, so what will happen at one point of time, it will be helpful for you. And the third step will be revision, right? Write, rewrite. uh, as a Toastmasters, we all know scripts we have to revise all the time. So for example, I have a separate folder for revision. So this is one of my contest speech, drop your baggage. Already 14 revisions I've already done. So so even blogging also takes the same types of revision, might be 5 times, 10 times you have to revise. And then I would love to share, okay, I guess so time is up, but I would like to extend a little bit more. And there is one more person called DTM Harris Adiwai. So he had written a book out of his timer. Can you please remove the card, please? Okay. Okay, so there's a person called DTM Harris Adiwai who has written an entire book which is based on his different speeches. Around 25 or 30 speeches he's having, and he has converted it into a book. So that is one of the advantage of having a library. Fourth thing is to have a website. So how can you have your own website for free? You can go to wordpress.com, just sign up with your email ID, and then you can post, you can have your own name for your blog site, and you can just write it. You can just post it over there. So once these basic steps are done, then the normal steps are just forward it to your friends, just take feedback from them. And one of the other aspect of can also monetize your blogs. There are many people in India so who monetize their blog, who earn up to $500 to $1,000 per month in dollars, right? So some of them quit their full-time job and just start writing blogs. It takes 2 years to develop, so they earn up to $1,000 per month. So these are the basic steps, but one of the most important thing is you need to start writing, right? There is a study which says 60 to 80% of the people, they want to write, but it's fear and uncertainty which is stopping them. So I believe that there's no such thing as a right speech or a right blog or a wrong blog. There's only an effective speech and a non-effective speech, and an effective blog and non-effective blog. So don't think about right and wrong things. And there's always a saying that every person has two lives, and the second one starts when he realizes that there is just one. Make mistakes, but do not forget your one post can give hope and make an impact on others. Because taking a sword and fighting sounds really cool, but a pen is always
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Royal. We have learned a lot with your speech, that writing is is definitely a gift, and putting it in onto a blog and getting appreciated. And I really appreciate all the blogs that you have written on Storytale, on Short Tail. Is it Storytale or Short? It's Short Tail, right? Short Tales.
Yes, yes.
Short Tail.
It's a short tail, Shortale.
Short
The
Tail.
concept behind the name was the cocktail or mocktail is a mixture of alcohol or fruit juices. So short tail is a mixture of emotions. So that's why I just made it a short tail.
Thank you so much for such a wonderful blog that you are running. Um, okay, timer. Now, it's a critical information that we need to ask. Like, do both do both the speakers qualify? We don't have to ask for.
Yes, so the time taken by the speakers is like this. Toastmaster Ishwar Kiran took 4 minutes and 48 seconds, and Toastmaster Roel D'Souza took 6 minutes and 5 seconds. So both of them have exceeded the time limit, and I leave it up to the Toastmaster of the day or the acting president to decide on the voting. Should I read Bharti ma'am's timings right now or later on?
Later on.
Later. Okay.
Yeah, later on. Okay. As Toastmasters and being in Toastmasters Leadership Institute, we all learn one thing, that is time management. And we all need to stick to the time limit that is given. Now practice for the time limit that is mentioned in your project, and practice it in front of the mirror, or practice it with a big clock in front of you, so that you can you have to stick to the time, right? Moving on to the next section, we have Toastmaster Larson coming up for the first time in his journey in Toastmasters as table topic masters. Toastmaster Larson.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. If you please, your video.
I cannot.
You cannot?
I can't. I have switched on, but it is not coming, I think.
Okay, fine.
It's not displaying.
No issues, Mr. Toastmaster Larson. You can start by describing your role as the table topic master, and then start with your topics. Over to you, Toastmaster Larson.
Okay. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests present. So as a table topic master, I will be moderating this segment of the meeting. This is an unprepared speech. So why the purpose of this unprepared speech or the table topic is to avoid frivolous mistakes or frivolous statement that we make while delivering a speech. And also this will help us in enhancing our skills, communicating a subject or topic that is given on the spot effectively, maybe clearly communicating our ideas, thoughts, and message over the audience that is in front of us. So I will start with the topics. So the time allotted for each topic is 1 to 2 minutes. So let's start this segment. Now, sometimes in our journey of learning, we have to evaluate ourselves here and there. If we are in the right direction, then we can go ahead. Then if we are not, then we have to pause, take a step back, and then continue. Now, there is a process of taking a break also. So let us start with our first topic, and we have to consider and reconsider our path, whether we are going in the right direction or no. So as we go on to the first topic, so I call upon everyone to take part in this table topic speeches. Who will be the first speaker?
I don't mind being the first speaker. I don't know when I'll be called back. I'm in office, so I'm making the best use of time.
Okay, ma'am. So we'll start with you. And the topic, first topic that I will assign is unlearning the new way of learning. Unlearning the new way of learning.
So that's the word, learning, just one word, correct? Or is there more in your topic?
No, unlearning
Okay.
is the new way of learning.
Yes. Thank you. May I start now? Yeah. So unlearning is the new way of learning. It is Alvin Toffler who said, the leaders of the future are not those who can something like have more data or who are more intelligent, but those who can unlearn. That much I remember from what I have read. It's Alvin Toffler. So it is true that unlearning is becoming a major way of learning, because many things that we understood to be correct are turning out to be not right now. We understood that, for example, in the last 1 year, we were so used to being with each other and breathing down each other's necks and over each other's shoulders. Now we learn that it's not good to, let's say, be very close to each other. It's very difficult to unlearn that being together, holding hands, and being at in close contact to each other. So that was an unlearning, especially for maybe senior people who are not used to the digital world. Unlearning becomes very difficult, but it is necessary. And I think unlearning is a challenge in itself. And the challenge itself provides us with enough motivation to learn more. After all, learning has also got to be interesting. And the very process of understanding that what we understood to be the truth is not the truth is such a shock to us sometimes, that that our minds flower and our minds are alert. All the antenna are on to see what is this new thing I have to learn. So this Zoom itself required a lot of unlearning, but I think it was one of the wonderful things that came out to us during this pandemic, and we could reach out to places where we never thought was possible. That itself is an unlearning. And when we learn that there are things that we did not know that are very wonderful, but we thought we could not envisage or visualize, that also becomes an unlearning. The very process of learning, I think, is unlearning. And I fully agree with you, and I'm with you, table topic master of the day. Over to you.
Thank you, DTM Bharati ma'am. So it was very great, very good, pleasant listening to you about how you have described the unlearning process from the analog world to the digital world. So thank you, ma'am. So here we go with the next topic. Shall I get someone, or can anyone voluntarily take the topic?
Jacob, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Jacob, sir. Jacob, sir. Okay. So there was ample opportunity for us to learn in this lockdown. So we had good time to learn whatever we wanted, or there was something that we could pursue because there was no time for us in initial days when we were working. So we had a lot of time, but we did not know that lockdown would be there. It was unexpected. Now the topic is, sir, your topic is how effectively I will use lockdown period if there was a lockdown again.
Thank you.
How effectively I will use the lockdown period if it happens again.
Thank you, table topic master. How will I use effectively my time again if another lockdown happens? That is my topic. I'll just tell the little past and the future I will tell. Last 2 years I was in isolation, so I was effectively, and I had retired my job also, and I was effectively in isolation also after the operation. So I had to do something to keep myself active physically and mentally. And so I decided every day I will do a lot of walking because it was good for my health, and a lot of breathing exercise. So I continued with that, and I made sure that every day morning I do breathing exercise, in the evening I walk. And then I thought mentally, what should I do? Otherwise, because I'm scared of these two diseases called dementia and amnesia. What is it called? Amnesia and what more? Alzheimer's. So I wanted to keep myself active. So I started some learning programs, which I still continue. I mean, different. I mean, like I wanted to do a lot of things, and some of the learning programs because I wanted to learn more about more languages. So I started one of the modern languages, that Python or something. I think all others know. So I started learning that. And future, what will I do? So I was thinking, anyway, I'm spending a lot of time. Why don't I start learning about stocks also? Because I had started this Demat account years back, but I just bought little things and then just left it like that, and it is still lying that. So I thought, because I can't make out how to make money out of it, so I thought maybe I'll start. So I started learning. There are two types. So there are fundamentals and quick trading and everything. So if any lockdown comes again, I think I will pursue this one. I think that is my plan, future plan. Back to the table topic, master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jacob. It was good listening from you how you would effectively use your time if another lockdown happens. So we move on to the next topic. And before going into the next topic, as we have this session today, a theme of the topic, theme today is TLI learning. So it is like we have to give out our time to learn something or to build ourselves. We have to spend some time, maybe disciplined enough to devote some time every day to acquire some skill. So the next topic that I want to give out, but before that, I want to, anyone could volunteer for the next topic?
I would like to go next.
I can do it.
Okay. Okay, there.
Roshan and Veera ma'am. Who would go first? Who would
Let
go
him go.
Okay, so yeah, let's do this. We both take a table topic together, but I say one sentence and then you say the next one, and then I say the next one, and we'll take double the time.
Okay. So we'll be going.
Yes, Roshan, go ahead. I'll take the next one.
Okay.
See, Amit, I tried team collab.
Okay, Toastmaster Roshan, your topic is investment in knowledge pays the best return. Investment in knowledge pays the best return.
Pays the best return is not true because we live in the information age, and there are many more problems, psychological, cognitive problems that are coming to the surface. Depression and self-harm among teenagers are on the rise. It is not true that knowledge, again, what is it? Self-knowledge is the
best investment. Investment.
I'm sorry. Can you?
Investment in knowledge pays the best return.
Best return.
Is the best return. Yeah, it is not true. So the way information travels for a human being is it is cognized or somehow grappled with. But then if it does not, if the human being does not or doesn't take action on it, it doesn't stay there for long. Except if it has some function in terms of humor or entertainment, then yes, it stays. But if it doesn't, if you don't use it somehow in your day-to-day life, it is released from memory. So we have a lot of information today. This one problem is that we do not know how to distinguish between truth and something that looks truthful but is actually deceptively wrong or false, or even, as we know, could be just political propaganda. The other side of the coin is really taking action on it, which is what's going to help us assimilate knowledge to a deeper degree. Now, knowledge has two facets, that which is taken externally and that which is then known internally. And I remember technology also works that way. So you have external technology, you have internal technology of working out the details. Unfortunately, we are not, globally speaking, in a position where we have trained our generation to think, as many people have said before. I'm not the first one to say this. So we end up with a lot of knowledge that is sterile. It is harmless. It cannot really be weaponized or brought to any benefit. And a lot of people are educated in the sense that they feel educated, but they are really not educated. You should ask me, because I know I have spent a lot of time with college students and in new higher training environments. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Roshan. So it was good listening from you about the cognitive science of human minds. Next, Bharti ma'am, can you take up?
No, it's Veera ma'am.
Oh, sorry, Veera ma'am. Sorry, I'm sorry. Can you take up the next topic?
Yes,
Okay.
will.
So since tomorrow we are celebrating a beautiful day of love, so I'll give you a topic on love. That is love blind? Is love blind?
Thank you, Larson. Is love blind? I think it should be, even if it isn't. Maybe the initial stages of love, as in romantic love, are you look at the person and then he's supposed or she is supposed to look beautiful to you and in your eyes. But as we grow older, with wrinkles on the face and loss of hair, compensated by increase in the weight and things like that, we don't really remain very beautiful. And still, the love remains. So the love should be actually blind. It should be blind to all these things. It should see only what is good in the person, the joy that you have to be together and things like that. If you're blind, when you say blind, it is only to do with the visual, how it looks. And it better be blind, as I said, so that we grow old together, not even remembering, I'm not even bothered about whether somebody is become old or fat or thin or, so the lady asked the man and said, can you see some gray hair in my head? So the man said, wait, I'll put on my glasses. So it is like that. So yes, love might be, even if it isn't blind, it better be blind, according to me. Over to you, Larson.
Thank you, Veera ma'am, for romanticizing the moment and talking about the love and the topic of love is blind. Okay, so the last topic of the second segment, is anyone ready to
our timer has not spoken today, so let us ask our timer to speak.
I can go next, yes.
Shall I time you, Nikita?
So,
sure, ma'am. I can time myself, no problem. I promise to be honest.
Okay.
Yes, Toastmaster Larson, my topic, please.
Your topic is my dream project. My dream project.
Okay, this is a very difficult topic for me because mostly when you decide about a dream project or something that you want to do, it involves a lot of self-introspection, which I'm very bad at. So in order to have a dream project, first of all, you need to have a dream. right? And to be very honest, I've had a lot of dreams since I was a kid. I remember when I was a kid, in a sense, really small, maybe around ages of 5 to 10, I wanted to be a detective, like not a private investigator or anything. I wanted to be like a proper detective with a gun and a badge and everything. And then later on, I remember I changed my dream to being a veterinarian, and that also did not pan out because I realized it's not just looking at fluffy cute bunny rabbits. It also involves a lot of the nitty gritty stuff, and so that also did not really pan out. Being I'm a lawyer, and so being studying law, being a lawyer is something that I completely did not dream, or it was not in the horizon itself, and something that I felt at the very last minute, as in just 2 months before my 12th board exams, is when I took the decision, no, I'm not going to study, not going to do engineering, but I'm instead going to study law. And initially, so my dreams have always changed, and I've realized that it's always best to be flexible and not just stick to one thing. Because if in my, for example, taking my own example, if I because I had absolutely no plans of doing engineering at yet, I was so lost, I did not know what to do, so I just decided to follow the crowd. And at that point of time, if I had just shattered and not realized what I want to do, and if I'd lost all self-confidence, I would not have been able to change my mind in a second and then pursue law and still continue to do this. I would have been very self-conscious, and my self-doubt would have been crippling. So I realized that it's okay if you don't have one particular dream. It's okay to change your mind, as long as you take good decisions and a positive step, and stick to something when you, and try to whatever decision you take, try to do it to the best of your abilities. So that's my dream project. Thank you, and back to the table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nikita. You have taken us a journey back towards our journey in life to choose the career. Thank you for reminding us about our passions also. Sometimes we do change our, that is how we unlearn to do something good. Okay, so we have come to the end of the table topics. Now I ask the timer Nikita, Toastmaster Nikita, to give out the times of all the table topic speakers.
Minute. Yes, there were 5 table topic speakers today. Distinguished Toastmaster Bharti Shevgo took 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Toastmaster Jacob Koshi took 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Toastmaster Roshan took 2 minutes and 18 seconds. Distinguished Toastmaster Veera Katpitia took 1 minute and 50 seconds. And I took 2 minutes and 23 seconds. 23 seconds. So I believe everybody is qualified for the voting to be considered as a best table topic speaker. Thank you, and back to the table topic master.
Thank you, timer Toastmaster Nikita. So we have, since we have come to the end, I would remind all Toastmasters here to vote the best speaker in the table topic segment at the end. So I hand over the session to the TMOD of the day. TMOD.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Larson. A big round of applause for the first time table topic master. And I'm really proud of you, Toastmaster Larson. It's indeed a pleasure that we could witness you take the table topic session such meticulously and flawlessly. Thank you so much. All right, coming to the third section, that is the evaluation session. Toastmaster Rashmika, are you ready? It's a section where everybody gets evaluated. So over to you, Toastmaster Rashmika.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Amit. Like the Toastmaster of the Day has rightly mentioned, that the evaluation part is where every aspect of the meeting, be the time, the grammar, or even the speech itself, is evaluated, and anything left untouched will be taken upon in the general evaluator's report. So we have already had one evaluator evaluate the speech. We would have the second evaluator, Roshan. I believe he's evaluating for the first time. Roshan evaluated the speech of Toastmaster Royal. Over to you,
Thank
Roshan.
you. Thank you, Rashmika. So the purpose is to review or introduce the skills needed to write and maintain a blog. And to that end, we have Roel, who took us through the storehouse of quotes, articles, stories, and a library of short stories. So that is a good idea to have. And he's also suggested the use of WordPress.com as a way to experiment and perhaps even be able to monetize like some have. Now, with regard to the skills needed to write and maintain a blog, I was hoping to also learn from you a little bit about the process of writing, from an idea or a concept to a full-blown article. What do you do? How do you break them into ideas? How do you blow up the ideas into paragraphs, etc.? Or a structure of, let's say, reviewing, or what do you do? What are the external aids that are available to you? Maybe a peer who could help you, or an expert. Those were not available in the speech. The speech itself was felt very natural, and it was fluent. There was not much of smiling though, and in some respect it lacked the fluidity of what would constitute point by point, very well connected speech. Although on the out of it, it looked very well connected. A few errors that I found was uncertainty. Materials is an uncountable noun. And you said one of the most important things during the pandemic itself is a duration. You said during the pandemic time, stories lying in my laptop, stories that are there, once or twice at the max. I don't know what is the correction there, just did not sound right. Why don't I convert these stories, or maybe while you were speaking, you contracted it very quickly, these into this. The next step will be to write your whatever. The next step is, if it's a fact, you use a simple present tense, not the future tense. Around 20 speeches he is having. Again, if it's a fact, he has around 20 speeches. The order of words has to be reversed, and the tense has to change as well. So in conclusion, Roel took us through his one or two techniques, but the internal processing was not revealed yet. And I have also explained the positives as well as some areas for improvement in grammar. Thank you.
Thank you, Roshan.
Thank you. Thank you, Roshan. Can we have the timer read the timing taken by the two evaluators?
Yes.
Distinguished Toastmaster Bharati and Roshan.
Distinguished Toastmaster Bharati Shivko took 2 minutes and 56 seconds, and Toastmaster Roshan Mahar took 3 minutes and 6 seconds. Both are qualified for voting, to be considered as the best evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nikita. Now I'd like to call upon the R counter to briefly give the R counting. Toastmaster Jacob, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rashmika. Today, I think all of us spoke well, but there were too many R's and O's from almost every speaker, I think, except Rashmika and Nikita. But all others, too many R's and O's. I actually stopped counting. And there was some repetition of words by Amit, Ishwar, Royal, and Veera Bharati. Veera Kapiti. Yeah. Otherwise, everybody was okay. And then long time back, when I started the Toastmasters, somebody told me to be the counter first time. I thought he said you had to count R's and U's and all those things. I thought it is so frivolous to count all these things. But then slowly I learned it is very important. And anyway, that is my report back to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jacob, for giving a very crisp and sweet R counter report. And moving on, we have the grammarian, distinguished Toastmaster Veera ma'am to share her report.
Good evening once again. Yes, my word frivolous was not used by any of the speakers, but by the role takers. Amit used it, Larsen used it, and Jacob sir, all three of you used it. Thank you for the same. Coming to my grammarian's report, I start with Ishwar Kiran. I like the way Ishwar, you used the word "my challenge is" instead of "my problem." Very nice way of putting, instead of saying I had this problem, you use the word "my challenge was," which was a very nice usage. When you were speaking, you said, "Find out who are you." I think you could have said, "It is who you are." Let's find out who you are instead of not who are you. Bharti, of course, I cannot find any grammatical errors. English literature person, it would be blasphemy on my part. I can't find it, but even if I could. I liked the phrase that she used, capitalize on the project of Ishwar Kiran. Royal, nice words. You said you should monetize your blog, find your niche. My job of a grammarian, for you, Royal, was completely done. I mean, absolutely helped this thing. Now I'm getting nervous. By Roshan, he did a thorough job of your grammar, and I must say he was more meticulous than I could be. I think you said discovered love of written stories or something like that. Discovered the love, and you said two lives, the pronunciation. Larsen, you said something like it is in the right direction or no, right direction or not. Whether this should go in the right direction, they went in the right direction or no, it's right direction or not. Jacob sir, you talked about buying shares, I think, for the DMAT account. You said, I bought little things. Maybe you could have said something like, I bought shares of some companies or something like that. When we talk about buying shares or in a DMAT format, we usually don't say little things. Maybe it was because it was a table topic, spur of the moment. Roshan, your table topic, I'm so happy that you took up the topic. Such beautiful words you had, grapples with, deceptively wrong, assimilate knowledge, knowledge is sterile. I liked that the best, especially in these days of the social media where you just read something which is just some frivolous and supposedly news, and actually it doesn't do anything for you. So I love that phrase, knowledge is sterile. Nikita, I liked the words shattered and self-doubt could be crippling. Very nice phrase, especially in a table topic. You had to think of such a phrase in your on the spur of the moment. Especially liked it for that. Roshan, as an evaluator, it was so perfect, and I was very much in awe of you when you what should I say, evaluated Royal's grammar.
Thank you. I've done it like 200 times as a soft skills trainer, but thank you.
Okay.
In my capacity, in my work.
Yes, but it was excellent. I must congratulate on it. So thank you, everybody, and back to the G, Rashmika.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Veera, for that very effective grammarians report. Now, coming to the general evaluators report, I would like to begin with the things that went before the meeting, especially the link, the agenda was published well before. I think congratulations to the VP Education for ensuring the smooth start of the meeting, and also the pre-meeting banter or whatsoever also was there, which kept all the members connected. However, one suggestion would be the meeting started at 5:36, and probably if it would have started at the suggested time in the agenda, it would have been better. But I do understand, as you were doing, I think I've heard of people taking dual roles in a meeting, but I have seen Amit take 3 or more roles every time. I think, Amit, I really would want to ask, how do you do that? Any which ways, the TLI theme, I think it's a very unique way of putting the TLI learnings as a theme. However, I would suggest that if we could have heard more about it as the theme being TLI, I think we could have heard a little bit more, probably. This would have been better. And regarding the speeches, I think all your every aspect of your speech have been evaluated. So I would, however, commend both the speakers for selecting a different electives, wherein it had, there was a long time commitment required, maybe writing a lot of blogs or maybe introspecting yourself for a lot of time. So congratulations to both the speakers for picking a different projects than the usual ones. The table topic master Larson, again, congratulations for taking the role for the first time. And I think it didn't look like that you were taking the role for the first time, and you were very encouraging, and also you gave you also gave your own view after each topic. However, one suggestion you can consider that kindly refrain from explaining the topic before itself for the speaker. I may have interrupted it differently. Apologies if I have, but kindly refrain from explaining the topic to the speaker. You may share your take of the topic after the speech is given by the table topic. However, kudos to you on doing the table topic masters role very well for the first time. Coming to the evaluators, I would really appreciate both the evaluators for being very appreciative of the speech, and also suggesting the areas of improvement while explaining how this could be an improvement. However, a suggestion to any evaluator would be to kindly not evaluate the speaker. Please evaluate the speech and not the speaker. Also, certain aspects like time, accounts, or maybe grammar part of the speech can be best left to the tag team. Just a suggestion. Moving on to the, I think I've covered all the role takers. I think the audience were also very kind. I think you were a very great. I'm very grateful for the audience as well for obliging and staying up until the evaluations and hearing out the areas of improvement. And going back to the timer, okay, I forgot to mention about the tag team. Timer, Nikita, good work done. However, one suggestion probably can be that you can as well mention if we are well within the time or not as per the agenda. And however, I would really like to applaud you that you were asked to not display the red flag, but you still held on and did your job well. I think I would really like to appreciate you for that. And the counter, Jacob, also did a very good job as an accountant, because the numbers were not given. The so-and-so speaker took 5 hours or 10 hours. This was not pointed. However, there was a different way of telling the counters or the interjections and the repetitive words. I think I really would like to applaud Jacob for this. I think we all need to follow this way of giving the counters report rather than giving a very numerical report. Then coming to the grammarian part, distinguished Toastmaster Veera, I think a very good word opted. Adjectives, verbs are very easier to use for the speaker. So I think good work on that. And you also ensure that you speak about the good usage and also the little bit improvements on the grammar part of a speaker or the other role takers. However, with no offense to Bharati ma'am, I think Veera ma'am, even Ivory has cracks. I mean, you could have probably somehow nitpicked on any of the, probably a small error. And my sincere apologies to Bharati ma'am on this as well. So moving on, I think we are almost well within the agenda. The G part was supposed to end at 5:45, but I think we are somewhere over there. And over to you, Toastmaster, for the
Thank you so much, generally valued Rashmika. Indeed, uh, as a buddy club, Manipal Udupi Toastmasters, thank you very much for being a part of Inspiron meeting. Without Manipal Udupi Toastmasters, I think Inspiron club will definitely have challenges in running their meeting. Thank you so much once again to Rashmika and Nikita for being a part of Inspiron Toastmasters um, meeting. Before I conclude today's 253rd meeting, um, I did really wanted to speak more about the TLI learning what we had. We had 3 or 4 sessions extra, but since we all have a time constraint, I had to cut down on my dialogues as Tio Modi. But uh, to the knowledge of Larson and Roshan, in TLI, we had presenters presenting the main objective of the leadership in maintaining the club. The few topics that included were the Distinguished Club Program, which is, as you know, that any club is given ranking or rating based on their performance of how the club meetings are being performed, and they are ranked based on certain points, based on the education, based on the membership strength, and based on the the administration part of it. And they are divided into 10 points, and over the year of the 2 terms, the board members of the club, they decide who is going to achieve what points to the club, and it is decided in a club success plan, which is in the beginning of the year. And they decide and see to it that the VP education of the club follows through the education part of the members. The VP membership follows through the membership part, strength of the club, and the president and the VP PR, overall development of the club, promoting the club. So this is looked after. So this was one session that was called the Distinguished Club Program section, which was taken by me. I had taken up a session for 20 minutes. Other than that, we had our district leaders like our club growth director and the program quality director, and also the district director. They all came and gave their word of advice to the district leaders on the 31st of January. Other than that, we had our distinguished Toastmaster Bharti ma'am speaking on effective evaluations of the speeches. So it was another 20-25 minute session given by Bharti ma'am, a wonderful session. And also we had another session by Toastmaster Sapna on the pathways taken up by our members. Pathways is a program meant for the members of the Toastmasters. They have the number of volumes that are there in the pathways, where once again revised, told in a different way. In probably it was a quiz. It was the first time that Sapna made an attempt to ask us questions, and thereby learning and sharing the information. So and the second half of it was into a breakout room, wherein the presidents and the vice presidents and the secretaries and the treasurers and sergeant at arms were taken into different rooms, and the sessions were given by Toastmaster Jyotika, Toastmaster Flexen, and Toastmaster Sridhar Kamath on the club leadership. And the session ended by 1:30. So These are the program that happened during the Toastmaster learning program, which happens twice in any Toastmasters year. Uh, with that, I conclude the information about the Toastmasters learning, and I have to thank each one of you, especially our club coaches, DTM Bharti ma'am and DTM Veera ma'am, for being a part of today's meeting. Thank you very much. Uh, General Evaluator Rashmika and Timer Nikita, thank you so much for being a part of our club meeting through the Buddy Club program. Indeed, it's always, a ray of hope for me as a VP education, to come to Manipal OTP Toastmasters, to seeking for the members, for the role takers. Thank you so much, Roshan and Ishwar and Toastmaster Larson and Jacob, for being a part of today's meeting. Thank you so much, Larson. Larson, indeed, it was a pleasure. As a first time table topic master, it was such a nice. I wanted to see you in the video today. uh, Roshan, you were flawless today as an evaluator. I think Veera ma'am, do we have evaluation as a contest this time? No contest of evaluation. Yeah, if it was there, Roshan, you could have participated in the evaluation contest. All right.
Next year.
Next year, next year. Thank you so much, Jacob
Okay,
sir,
thank
and thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Royal. Thank you very much. Have a great evening. Thank you so much.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Good night. Good night.
Goodbye, everybody. Good night.
Good night.